St. Pete and be there for you. So we're like on the corner of Gulfport, right? So Gulfport is fantastic with us. There's an issue there here in a second. I have 2 school resource officers that are bored out of their tree. They are. I got one on one in the campus, one on the other, and they're like, walk around, man, go do something, okay? We do have weapon issues, we do have fight issues, we have drug issues. They existed back when you were in school too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the drugs did, the fights did, and believe it or not, the weapons did
Oh,
too.
yeah, they
My dad was a dean of students in upstate New York, and he had the unfortunate opportunity to have to expel a student for something really bad back in the 70s, right? And the kid doing what an angry, pissed off young man's going to do. He returned to school with a sawed-off shotgun in his jacket, pulled it off, fired around at my dad in the middle of the hallway, and thankfully missed him, which is really good because I kind of wanted that dad, right?
Yeah.
That probably never hit the news back then.
Right.
The kid was maybe locked up, maybe not. The kid missteps in any capacity now, and it hit 15 different news things. It's the best. It's like, oh, that's great, man. I want to hear about my valedictorian, and you want to hear about the one kid that messed up. We're blessed to not have a lot of issues, but I can't tell you in all certainty that I don't have a weapon on my campus at any given second. But I'd say we probably don't. I have a lot of community issues, if you know what I'm trying to say, which used to be the word gang, okay? I have the poorest part of Pinellas County in Childs Park right here where my kids walk to school. Hundreds of them come from Childs Park, one of the poorest communities in Pinellas County. I need them to come in and feel safe. And you know what they do? They typically arrive way before school, and they typically stay way after school. Why? This is the safest 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours of the day. And they know they're gonna get fed twice, and they know going back there is not a good place to be. And so we have a different philosophy with that as well in terms of making sure kids feel comfortable and safe here too. The social emotional needs need to be met for our children as much as our academic needs. I have no problem holding kids accountable, that's not an issue. But I also will do it with a level of kindness and respect and dignity. But there's lines that if you cross, you gotta go. You never get to return. But to your point, right? Because everybody wants, oh, security. It's safer now, more integrated than ever before, less fights than ever before, less issues with it, because we're that much mixed all the time. And we're that so many people are paying attention to kids. It's like, sweetie, you're okay today? Is everything all right? You know? And it's usually something where it's just a disaster at the house, and we got to get her right and get her whatever support she needs, because I know that in 5 hours or 6 hours, she's got to go back to that. And I got to make it so that she can sometimes learn how to advocate for herself to get better than the environment that she has to go back to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is what it is. So talk technology. I'm going to talk quick on academics, okay? So we have, I have 2 different points with you. One of the points is the measure of accountability. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I could go back and graduate from high school. I don't think I'm smart enough. I was one of those kids that I muddled through and I half paid attention. I got paddled every other day because I always ran my mouth. You know, if you back in the day of corporal punishment, I was the kid in the hallway going to get lit up. It happened to me a lot. We don't do that anymore, by the way. But I will tell you, it's hard to graduate high school now. And so I'm going to give you some names, some numbers, and some tests that may resonate with you, and I'll make it simple, okay? So they had the days of, and this was your days, folks, okay? So don't be offended. It's just the truth, okay? All you had to do was show up, smile at your teacher, and get a decent grade, and make that teacher happy, and maybe occasionally bring them a coffee or a donut or something too, and you were going to graduate high school. You just had to pass X number of classes in the right spots. And they said, well, you know what? If the grades aren't really good enough, what is that D student, right? So then it was like, okay, we got to get a 2.0 average, so I got to have C's in there. And then the number of credits increased. And the types in each core area increased. And then the state came in and said, you guys still aren't doing good enough, so we're going to make you start testing kids to show me that you can prove that the kid actually learned something versus, oh, sweetie, I'm going to give you an A because you showed up, right? Because that used to happen a lot. It happened to me in high school. I faked it through high school. I don't know how they graduated me because I was kind of a prick, but they still got me through. So the state come in, and then all of a sudden you say, well, wow, large percentages you aren't reading as well as I would like. Large percentage of you aren't doing as well in math. And then every year they just kept raising the bar. That's a good thing. And we have accountability that says, well, the state's in your business. Yeah, but if the kids are reading better and doing math better as a result because you're holding my feet to the fire, then that's a good thing. So years and years of accountability, the FCAT became an FSA test. I'll give you an example of what an FSA test is now. And I'll talk about graduation requirements. Kids have to pass a math test to graduate. It's an FSA math, and they have to pass an FSA reading. And the FSA reading is a 3-part test. It's 2-part reading, 1-part writing. And it takes these 3 parts and compiles them together. And they have to pass the 10th grade test, which is written above a 12th grade reading level. And above that, it's not like the old days when you took a test and you read a passage, looked at some words, and answered a multiple choice, okay? They have components of that, but then they also have to take a text, combine it, reference it, and then write an essay summary referencing the two different texts back to a prompt from that too. That's a very advanced skill that has to happen. I think I could do that now. I guess so. I'm in my 40s. I probably should be able to, right? But that's a hard level of passing. So the old days of not having to pass a test on top of the credits, on top of the GPA, made it very difficult. Graduation rates back then, if you went and left for adult ed and you went and got a GED, you were considered an on-time graduate. That's no longer the case. That stopped back in 2011. They don't allow that anymore either. But the graduation rate in 2010, when you took out the GED kids, was 57% at Boca Ciega. And when you added in the GED kids, it was actually 75%. 75, 3 out of 4. And that was probably higher than it was before, but then these tests come in. Then the tests got harder. So the test that makes sense to you, ACT or SAT, familiar with those vaguely, right? A perfect ACT score is a composite of like 36. That's really high. A perfect SAT is 1600, okay? 800 ELA and 800 math. For the ACT, for example, when they started to say, well, I'm not even certain the state test is good, so let's add a norm reference test like an ACT, because if you can't pass the FSA, I'll give you a chance in the ACT. It was an ACT score of 15 on reading. It's okay, it's a marginal average score. And then it went to 18, and then it went to 19. And now it's a composite average between the reading, and the English as well. The SAT concordance score went up as well. It went from 430 and it's about to be 480. And at the same time, we're still graduating more kids, which means that our feet are being held to the fire in terms of what we're doing. You can't just kind of fake it in class. I need reading happening in every single class, every single day. Otherwise, that kid that came in three grade levels behind has zero chance. None, right? We do better than anybody as it relates to lifting kids into what we call rigorous courses. Somebody just asked what that AVID thing is. I'll talk about that in the next stop. We do this thing called accelerate and remediate and support at the same time. Remediate means I got to give you extra reading and extra math because you need it. Accelerate means I'm going to put you in more rigorous classes. And support means I'm going to put you in a program like AVID that's college readiness. And a lot of our kids do that. So I have 480 freshmen this year, 480 freshmen, and 250 of them are taking their first college course. That's over half, folks, okay? First college course. And 50 of them are taking 2 college courses. Because I told them to. They're like, really? You're behind? Yeah, I still expect you to take a college level class. Because you're going to learn more in that class. You're going to have to work harder. It's going to be harder. I get it. You're going to grapple. But I want you to grapple and grind a little bit in 9th grade. Because I need you to supersede the amount of reading and catch up in a heartbeat. We don't offer regular level courses like the word English. There's English honors. There's a couple Englishes, English honors, and then it's all like AP and dual enrollment. We offer 28 different AP, Advanced Placement College Board courses on our campus where a student can earn college credit in addition to earning high school credit. All they have to do is say, I want to take the class. And then we offer 9 different on-site dual enrollment courses where kids getting college credit from either USF or SBC. And we're the only school in the state to do an articulation agreement with USF. I have pre-education college courses on my campus too, teaching my kids how to be educators and getting college credit to go over to USF and become a teacher. So the kids that really grapple through it and grind, which are most of our kids grind into rigorous courses, droves of kids are walking out of your 2 years worth of college paid for, never cost them a dime and never left my campus. Really cool stuff. So when you get 8 credit opportunities too, you can really load up. We will administer 1,450 advanced placement exams this year. That's a lot. Yeah. And that will be representative of about half of the students in our school. And the rest, even if you're not in that, you're going to be taking at least honors, because I expect you to grow. Make sense?
Do you all still pay for this test?
We pay for everything. Yeah,
Wow.
we pay for everything.
What's your AP pass rate?
A rate I don't care about.
Good.
Yeah, I explained that too. So that's a great question. So what's the AP pass rate? My AP pass rate is 38 to 40%. I could make it 100 tomorrow. I'm glad you brought that point up because I present on this stuff. So what I mean is this. When I look at advanced placement, college board test, the kid takes a rigorous class that's written at a college level that the syllabi has to be approved by the college board, and at the end they take this big ugly test, okay? It's 2 weeks in May. And the big ugly test is like a scores 1 through 5. You get a 3, 4, 5, you get college credit. You get a 4 or 5, sometimes you get double college credit. You get a 1 or 2, thanks for showing up, you got the high school credit, but you don't get the college credit on top. So the gravy is the college credit. So a lot of people think, well, what percentage of the kids are earning the college credit? I have so many level 1s in my AP class. If the kid doesn't get the college credit but grew 3 years in reading, I'm like, you're on fire, baby, okay? And when I present to different people about College Board, which I'll be next week in Washington presenting on College Board, I tell them, like, don't worry about pass rate. You need to work on the number and the volume of kids that persist through the course. Like the Mike Vigu that would have been a struggling reader in your class, that found a way to stay in your AP class all year long and work my little tail off. That was a win. And then you look at the volume of kids that earn a qualifying score. Because if I wanted a pass rate of 100%, I would do this. I'd go, okay, here's my AP class. Oh, sweetie, you get to stay because you're a level 5. You are always nice, but you need to go to another class. Do well, you're out too. You can stay, but I'm not so sure about you. You better pick it up, you're out too. Because that's what most schools do. That's exactly what most schools do. That's called restricting and putting barriers and obstacles around rigorous classes. Here, it's open access, baby. I expect you to come in and do some work. I expect you to work as hard as you can, but I expect you to grow. Make a difference, okay? But the pass rate's like 38 to 40%. And I tease schools, I'm like, yeah, you got a 100% pass rate. You know what that means? You ain't got enough kids in the class. You ain't have enough kids in the class. Because you put only those little cute little kids that smile and did everything they need to do, they could read above grade level, those are the only one, and then you put a chip on your shoulder acting like you're cool. That's not cool. That's like teaching a kid that doesn't even need you. Because most of those kids would probably do well on the test in spite of you.
I teach at a 92% Title I school.
Good for you. Good for you.
I love your answer. Thank you.
Yeah, and it matters. I'm so passionate about it because when I walk in my AP class, what should it look like? 60% girls, 48% black, 30. I mean, it better look like that, right? And if it's not, that's not good enough, right? And so I hope that makes some sense. We talked a little about academics. We're gonna hit the Avid Wing next. I gave you a little bit of a break. I gave you about 12-minute break there. That worked out pretty good. Give Hope back his classroom.